Are the Colorado Avalanche actually the most popular team in Colorado? Welcome into your Denver Sports Daily for April 8th. Let's go.
Taking you through your morning headlines, it's Denver Sports Daily with Rachel Vigil.
The Colorado Avalanche actually be more popular than the Denver Broncos. According to a new survey from the Colorado Polling Institute, that is indeed the case. The results were released on Friday, with 64% of 632 likely voters surveyed saying that they're fans of the Avalanche. 63% say they're fans of the Broncos, 59% for the Rockies, and 57% for the Nuggets. This feels a little not true if we're going to be completely honest. This was most likely some political voters if we're being completely truthful, but I feel like a lot more, and just going off of how our views typically go here over at Denver Sports. Broncos tends to be number one, Nuggets number two, Avalanche number three, and then Rockies. But hey, whoever they're surveying clearly says we're big fans of the Avalanche. And I will say that the Avs Cup run felt a lot bigger than the Nuggets title run did. I don't know if it was because it was the first championship in a few years or what the difference was, but the entire Cup run, it felt like the entire city was behind them for the Avalanche. And for the Nuggets, it was like, heck yeah, they're going to get their first one. But it didn't feel like everybody kind of came together in that. Maybe it was also because some people were LeBron fans when it came to the Western Conference Finals. You know, you got some Jimmy Butler fans. There was some drama for the finals. I don't know, but that's just my personal opinion. So let me know for you. The question of the day for the show will be 1, 2, 3, 4. How does your list go of teams that you care about? Now, we will talk about the Denver Nuggets because Jamal Murray returned. So after not playing since March 21st due to right knee inflammation, Jamal returned to the lineup Saturday night against the Atlanta Hawks. Now, he poured in 16 points, including 6 assists in 21 minutes of work. And the Nuggets soared to a 142-110 win over the Hawks at Ball Arena. Now, Murray did tell people when we were asked about the number one seed, of course it matters. It's the number one seed. You get the home court advantage for the whole playoffs. Now, of course, with Jamal, Nuggets head coach Michael Malone said Murray will have restricted minutes for the near term as the point guard works his way back to full health in advance of the postseason. But the 142 points were a season high for the Nuggets, who moved back into the first place in the Western Conference at 54-24, a half game ahead of the Minnesota Timberwolves. The two teams are tied in the loss column. Now we'll switch over to the Colorado Avalanche and the hockey because last night, they end up losing to the Dallas Stars 7-4. All of a sudden, it seemed like a relatively close game, but it just broke open for the Stars. We were seeing goals left and right there. Now, is there a goalie controversy? My answer is yes, and we will get into this tomorrow on Coffee Break with Will Peterson. I'm sorry to all of the Georgie fans. He feels extremely frustrated right now, and I think you have to go with the guy with the clearer head. So I don't know what Jared Bednar will do, but we will get into that tomorrow on Coffee Break. But here was the actual bummer of the weekend. Mikko Rantanen left the game on Friday night against the Oilers with a concussion. He did work out on Saturday and skated on his own, but he is still in concussion protocol. He's considered day-to-day. It is encouraging that he has already been on the ice, according to Jared Bednar. But what about the Colorado Avalanche? The playoffs are quickly approaching, and it's not 100%, but essentially, the Avs have lost a chance of scoring or securing the number one seed, which would be an absolute huge bummer. You can see them there at 48-24-6, 102 points. The Stars with 107. They are projected to play Winnipeg right now if we were to look at how everything would line up. Winnipeg, they're a solid team too, so this could be a really, really intense first round matchup for them. We will head on up to Boulder now as we look at the Colorado football team because Deion Sanders is letting his team have it after a professor at the university emailed Sanders about his players being disrespectful in class. Sanders says that the professors noted there were players in class that were present but not really in class. Let's be honest. We've all seen those kids that were in class, but maybe they were on their phones or they had their headphones in and they were being distracting to other students. So Sanders, with a legendary quote, reportedly closed the meeting with the team saying, "You got to get something out of this. You going to be a man or you're going to be a great football player. Since you chose not to be a great football player, we got to make you men." That is a legendary quote right there. Obviously, with the record they had last year, we got to make you men. Huge respect to Deion on that one. The Colorado Rockies manager, Bud Black, said that he would hold out Chris Bryant, the first baseman, from the lineup for Saturday's game against the Tampa Bay Rays due to back tightness. So this is truly a day-to-day, but it's an injury, Bud Black said. It's not a little bit of a back, but like his back is tightened, essentially, which we all remember in the IR stint that he had a few years ago, that was also one of the issues that he had. And it came after they had stayed in Chicago, and they referred to the beds that they had at the hotel as jail beds, which, yes, that was in fact really rough. But Bud Black did talk to the media on Saturday about Chris Bryant. Take a listen.
Chris, we texted this morning a little bit about his back, a little tight. When he got to the ballpark, brought him into my office, talked about how his back was feeling, and just my decision to play Tolley, and said, Chris, he's not going to take batting practice. We'll see. He's going to get some treatment. This is truly day to day. It's not an injury, just a little bit of a back that tightened up a little bit. It was a little bit tight in Chicago, but played through it. So don't want to pick a scab here. Let's get it feeling better.
How do you think?
Now the Rockies are 2-8 so far, matching the 2005 team for the worst 10-game start in club history. Colorado struck out a season-high 15 times on Sunday. However, we will move to a championship team because Dawn Staley and South Carolina have completed their perfect season. The team ended Caitlin Clark's historic college career with an 87-75 win over Iowa in the NCAA championship yesterday. I will say I was way more invested this year in the women's side of March Madness than I have been in the men's side, and I know that game is tonight. But the Gamecocks finished 38-0 and became the 10th Division I team to go through a season without a loss. The feat also comes after they lost all 5 starters from last season's team that lost to Clark's squad in the national semifinals. Now, Caitlin Clark, of course, getting her roses from pretty much everyone despite being knocked out of the championship. She scored 30 points, including a championship record 18 in the first quarter. I felt so bad for Caitlin Clark. I will give my roses to South Carolina in just a second. I felt so bad to Caitlin Clark because of all of the cameras that were around her. Now, right now, she is the face of women's basketball. That is the honest truth. But I can't imagine walking off of the court for the last time you're going to be wearing your college jersey. You're losing the championship, and you have cameras all around you, and you can't get emotional. Everybody is giving you hugs, and you just don't want to sit there and cry. So many of her teammates were crying, and they were walking out of the tunnel, and she was just so stone-faced, and I felt so bad. That moment had to be so incredibly hard, but she has left a legacy that so many people will forever remember, and hopefully young men and women have watched what Caitlin Clark did and will look at it and say, you know what, possibly I can do that as I grew up as well. So I have mad respect for Caitlin Clark and how she handled everything yesterday, but it is so cool for South Carolina to go on and have a perfect season. It's something we really do not see all that often, so major shout out to them. And again, after losing all of their starters to come back, I think we also did learn a little bit that you just got to have some height because holy smoke, South Carolina was a tall, big team for sure. And then last one for you here on this Monday. John Calipari is finalizing a 5-year deal to become the next coach at Arkansas. The deal is expected to be completed in the next 24 hours. That was coming out last night. He has been the head coach for Kentucky since 2009. That is crazy to me. News I was not expecting to see, but he's clearly ready for a fresh start. So plenty of good stuff on this Monday as always. And I love reading your guys' comments. So let's see. Broncos number 1, number 2 Avalanche, number 3 Nuggets, number 4 Rapids. How could we leave out the Colorado Rapids on there? If you did not know, I used to cover the Colorado Rapids. I was their team reporter for a long time. I went down to the bubble with them. We love the Colorado Rapids. Let's see. Don't look into the light. I don't know if this is referring to the eclipse that we are supposed to see if you were here in the Mile High City in an hour and a half. That's always so much fun. I know that a lot of people will be going out to look at that, but only please look at it if you have the special glasses. We don't need anybody being blind on this Monday. So I love hanging out with you guys every single day. Thank you so much. I am about to cough, so I'm going to end the show right here, but we will see you guys 12 p.m. for an episode of Coffee Break. Bye, everybody.